You mics.
Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/goldenboot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another edition of the HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bear. Got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. Got Daniel D. Williams in the building. And fellas, you know how it is. You know what I'm saying? You got company coming over. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sweep up the floor. You know what I'm saying? Hide that. You know what I'm saying? Hide it up under the sofa. You know, whatever. You know, we got to clean up. We got folks coming through. But we should have changed the intro this week. We should have came out to the "Must Be the Money." That's what we should have came out to.
Hey, who ain't swag?
You know, we're gonna go after that. We're gonna go after that. But without further ado, like I said, we do have not one, not two, we got three heavy hitters with us. Some great guests. First time coming from Tigers Talk Podcast with the 1400 Club, Mr. The Corey C. We got returning guests, GESPN from Swac'n the Food, and our man, LeBaron Marks. Welcome back to HBCU Hours, and welcome, Corey, to HBCU Hours. Thank y'all for coming.
What's going on?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight, man?
Good.
Doing well.
Good, bro.
Well, we brought y'all on just to talk, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit about football.
Ain't nothing really to talk about.
Ain't nothing really.
Yeah, man. Slow
Ain't
news
nothing.
week.
It ain't too much happening.
Just waiting on the celebration ball, man. Just trying to.
I know.
Yeah,
that's all. So how your mama doing? Nah.
Hey.
Before we move forward, we do have to look back. SWAC championship. It was a closer game than most thought. This was a rematch. Jackson State dominated Southern early in the season, 35-0, and it looked like it was going to start that way again. The score started out 24-0,
26,
26-0.
You know, Prime goes for the 2-point conversion, so yeah.
Yeah. And then Southern made a change at quarterback, and lo and behold, you know,
it became a ball game.
The game was never in doubt. The game was never in doubt.
It was never in doubt, but it at
least became at least became competitive.
The viewers didn't switch the channel. Let's put it that way.
But I see you, Corey. You talking it. I like it.
I asked the question. I said it wasn't. Here we get a consensus.
I ain't gonna say it was a ball game, so I'll just say that Southern started showing a little bit of fight once they changed the quarterbacks, and they actually kind of made the scoreboard look like it was a competitive game.
Mm-hmm. I think what happened was some people started looking.
Yeah, they cut it to 12.
I think some people started looking at flight times. flight times, and you know what I'm saying. What we got to do to get up out of here?
Petty.
Huh?
Hey, I'm just
Already.
saying.
Starting it off.
But no, seriously. But seriously though, this was the most most viewed SWAC championship ever, 391K.
Yeah.
Hey, it's saying something. But we do now have a celebration bowl. We do know who's going on.
We knew that before the game.
I mean,
they already had flyers made.
Yeah, we all do that. We all do that.
Officially.
There we go.
Officially, we have a celebration bowl matchup. But
how many players gonna show up for Jackson State though?
Hey, that's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. But we expect
I know who is gonna be there.
To show up.
Number 2 gonna be there.
Oh,
Two gonna be there.
You can believe that.
Yeah, 2 gonna be there. Long as Daddy there, 2 gonna be wherever Daddy go.
Daddy gonna be so okay. So
that was a question. Would Daddy be there? Let's be honest.
Okay, well let me ask you this: should Daddy be there?
Yeah,
for the set.
No,
Daddy should be there because he is the coach of the team until the end of the season, and our season is still going on. So we want to win the Celebration Bowl because if you look back on this, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's either going to be Jackson State Black College National Champions or not. We want to go down as the national champions. So the best, who's going to put us in the best position to do that is Coach Prime Deion Sutton. Love him or hate him based on what happened. We can get into that, but if he's not there, that team is going to be deflated, and we don't know who else may not want to show up. So again, we're not going to get caught up in emotions and say, "Oh, this is what he did," and he went to Colorado and listen to the press conference. He's not going to coach us. No, we want this win. We want to finish what we started.
So he's going to keep the main thing.
You're doing a good job.
As he say, it's the but. My question is the main thing? What's the main thing now? So okay, my question, my original question, what technically who is he under contract? Is he still with Jackson State under contract until?
Mm-hmm. So I honestly don't know. I mean, when do contracts end? Do they end? I think they end December 31st, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't
know how that works.
Yeah.
Has Colorado already bought him out of his contract?
Apparently, Colorado doesn't have the money.
They got to come up with the money first. It's not. No, he's officially the head coach of Jackson State University. Period. He's accepted another job. He did this before, right? He was announced as the Jackson State coach September 21st, 2020. But guess what? He was still doing, coaching high school football, right? So he was going back coaching Shador's games, but he was still working. It's what Let me rewind. I don't get anybody in trouble because he didn't start until December 4th, so he wasn't working. But he had people working recruiting, right? People were working recruiting while he was still coaching. So from between September 20th and December 4th, was he Trinity's head coach or was he Jackson State's head coach? So it's the same.
Let me ask you this: with the early signing period starting the Tuesday after the Celebration Bowl, are you worried about him kind of doing both jobs at the same time and how much focus is actually on the Celebration Bowl? Because he's still going to be recruiting for Colorado.
So I'll answer this like I'm Deion Sanders. This is what he would say if you asked him the same question. He would say, "Did you not see me play baseball and football at the same time and something same day?
Damn time.
So you don't think I can get my team ready and then go call a few players as far as recruiting?"
That sounds just like Deion.
Hey, but let's also say Deion still got an offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator also. Still got position coaches.
Ain't he taking them with him? I thought he was taking his assistants with him. So
not them two.
Not them two. My bad.
I'll stop talking right there. I'll let y'all answer that.
Hey, if y'all didn't know, there was some more pettiness right there too.
I'm just saying. He ain't taking. He taking some of them with him. He taking the analyst.
I'm pretty sure somebody's going with him. I don't know.
The analyst.
He's taking the linebacker coach for sure.
He's taking him for sure. And what's the tight end coach? He taking him for sure.
I don't know no name.
The coordinators,
don't take Tim.
Yeah, Brewster.
Hey, sometimes everybody can't go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
everybody can't go.
Everybody who come with you that's the thing. Everybody who come with you can't go with you.
You can look on Twitter and figure out who's going. I mean, there's certain coaches already tweeting "See you in Boulder." See you, the letter "See you" in Boulder.
Yeah. I ain't gonna get too much in that because people already think I'm mad about this situation.
Oh, you mad?
Yeah, me too.
You mad?
They've been on my head. They've been on my head telling me I'm mad.
I mean,
when you call
Jackson State a single baby mama, G. I mean,
Single mother.
Hey, that's so disrespectful.
No, but
when he said that, dog, I see why you caught some heat, bro. I just leave it at that.
all right. So let me ask
My
this:
phone been hot ever since then.
should Jackson State be mad, or let me rephrase that, because it's not just Jackson State. Should
HBCU
Jackson
culture.
State, SWAC, HBCU culture, kind of in that order? Should they be upset? Not necessarily at the leaving, but in any parts of this situation.
You could even go Black Americans.
I would say that, but
I think the answer is going to be different for each one.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a consensus answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't say upset, but I think we have the right to critique and criticize when necessary. Just like we can praise him when he do right.
Yeah,
you know, we can critique you too. We do something we don't like.
Oh, we're gonna critique.
That's what I do.
That's one thing we're gonna do is critique
what he did.
You know that.
What he did for SWAC. Yeah. So but if you do something I don't like, I'm gonna tell you about it too. And it is how I am.
That's it.
I think go both ways. Two things to be true at one time.
At the same time, absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So then I'm sorry, Ant. Go ahead.
I was just about to say, I don't think it's the fact that he left. I think it's the things that was kind of said from when he took the job up until the time he left, and kind of how he handled his tenure at Jackson State more than the fact that he left. I think that's more so what Jackson State, SWAC, HBC, whoever, whatever section you want to go to. I think more so that's what a disappointment or upset, whatever you want to call it. I think that's where it's at, not at the fact that he actually left.
Let me ask you a quick question about that. So how are you supposed to get your team's buy-in, the college buy-in, the community buy-in, without saying all those things?
Man, you could have handled that totally.
Let me ask you this too. Corey, let me ask you this too. If he would have came in and said, I'm looking to leave within the next 2 years or 3 years, how would you think your fan base would have reacted?
Happiest fan base on the planet. Let me explain something to y'all. Do y'all know the previous 7-8 years of Jackson State? I'm sure y'all do, but prior to Deion Sanders arriving, we were in a dark place, dark times. And we had several chances to get it right with the new head coach hiring, and we blew it every time. So we were looking for anything, any sign of life. And Deion was way more than, we were hoping for TC Taylor, right? That's what we would say. If we can get TC Taylor, we're back. So imagine thinking that you're going to have TC Taylor and then you find out it's Deion Sanders. Imagine that. So if you ask me at that time, hey, would you want TC Taylor? And that's my guy. I don't mean this in any negative. That's literally my guy going back to high school. But TC Taylor, or we can bring Deion Sanders in for 2 years and he's out here. Sign me up, right? So, that's the way I look at it.
I got another analogy. Y'all know I keep a good analogy. I look at it like this. You know how you meet somebody, right? And you just want to hook up with them. I don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to hook up with you, right? You okay with that? All I want to do is hook up. Look, let's just hook up. But they keep saying, "Lo, let's get married." No, I love you. No, look, were you okay with just hooking up? I love you. Come on, give me a kiss. Oh, I want to hook up. So finally you give in. And then boom, they walk out the door. I was okay with just hooking up. You talked me into doing this, and now you dip out.
You got the emotions involved. When my emotions weren't in, I was okay with absolutely.
Jackson State didn't ask him to come in saying he's the Messiah and criticizing Isaiah Land for entering the portal. Nobody asked him to do that. He did it on his own, and then you dip. That's where the backlash come from.
But that's Deion Sanders, though. That's Deion Sanders. That's what you
calling
get.
out Grambling fans and calling out Grambling fans and calling out Mississippi Valley Field. You know what I'm saying? All this. Like, I understand it might have been good intentions along the way, and it might have came from it. But at the same time, you put that target on your back when you started doing things like that instead of just coaching Jackson State.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Though. Yep. That's Deion Sanders. He's the ultimate marketer. He's the ultimate salesperson. That's just him. He's not going to come in quiet and say, "Oh, I'm grateful for this opportunity. Can't wait to get started. Let's go Tigers." Now he's going to take it to the extreme. That's who he is.
That's why you see this from it, though. You know what I mean?
He's a character. No, I'm just saying he's a character. Like that's what his persona is. Like, so he came in and he, in my opinion, he was a character. Like he's an ultimate salesman. He's been doing that since he was at Florida State. Yeah. So he sold the culture. He sold everybody on the HBCU experience, and then he left for the money. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, let me ask you this and kind of follow up to what G was saying. is it Deion's fault that people pretty much deem him the commissioner of the HBCU? Because I don't think Deion said that I was going to come in and just be the Lord and Savior of HBCU.
Okay, you don't have to think he
football.
did. You don't have to think he did come in and say half it.
But
That man
I'm just saying.
came in.
So
The man said God called him to Jackson to restore HBCUs, to level the playing field
bring
between
change.
HBCU and Power Fives, and to bring the change to make it to where young black kids don't have to go to Power Fives, that they can feel like they HBCU is good enough that they can go to HBCUs. That's what he said. He didn't say I'm coming here to bring Jackson State a championship and all that. He put all of those big big goals on himself. So
I thought he said God called him to Jackson State.
And you got to
do what?
He did.
To
He
do
said
what?
Jackson State.
To do what?
To change the game, to level the playing field, to show that there's a pathway from HBCU to the NFL.
He said for
My thing
HBCUs. He didn't say just for Jackson State.
Well, this is what he said. He said God called him to Jackson State to change the game, to level the playing field for HBCUs. That he had to be at a place in order to do it. So God is using him at quote unquote, supposedly using him at Jackson State to make a change for HBCUs and show that there's a pathway to the NFL for HBCU players. But he had to be at an HBCU to do it.
My problem with it was if you feel like that, then why are you gonna take Travis with you then?
Well, see, that's
from HBCUs that you just said.
My thing is almost a year ago to the day when he got Travis, he went around on all these platforms saying, why isn't the HBCU good enough? Why should a 5-star athlete or player feel like he has to go to a P5? HBCU should be good enough being around his people. And a year later, he take that same kid to a Power 5
because that wasn't his player. Because Isaiah Land wasn't his player, and it wasn't his Power 5.
Well, he said it whenever Travis committed, he was saying, because everybody was saying, "What Travis crazy for going to HBCU and all that." Deion was like, "Why isn't the HBCU good enough for us?"
But then Travis go to Jackson State because he wanted to be coached by Deion Sanders.
It doesn't matter about that.
It started with Deion Sanders.
Yeah, but Deion, of course, obviously, nobody disagree with that. But I'm saying, if he would have never came out saying why isn't the HBCU good enough for 5-star, he shouldn't have to go to a P5. He should be able to go to a HBCU, and then a year later take the kid to a P5.
But listen,
it just seems contradictory.
You saying he's taking him? How do we know he's taking him? How do we know Travis is not saying I'm going with you? We don't know
exactly.
We don't know those conversations.
Okay.
You I want to be coached by you. You got to offer him a scholarship for him to come.
Gee, so you're not gonna offer Travis Hunter a scholarship? At Colorado,
that's not the.
I'm just asking. I'm asking a question.
If he can get the number 1 player to Jackson State, he can get the number 1 player to Colorado.
So let me.
Why not have 2 number 1 players?
Exactly.
If I did,
because the HBCU was good enough for the HBCU was whether you wanted the last one at HBCU. You know what I mean? So was it about you want him at an HBCU or you want him with you?
Right. You didn't even have to bring up the HBCU part. We didn't ask for that.
That's my point.
Don't bring up Jackson State and dominate.
Yeah, that's my point. You brought the culture in. You brought the culture part into it.
Nobody asked you that.
Speaking of that culture, so it's one thing, and this whole conversation with Deion taking the money. Well, let me not. I don't want to say it like that. With Deion leaving and stuff, it brought a lot of people had different sentiments, especially amongst black, the black culture. They were like, well, you don't want to see a black man succeed, or what is crab in the barrel mentality. But something that people don't realize, this whole issue is more of a culture thing, and it's not even a black thing. It's more of there's like HBCU culture, and there's black culture, then inside that black culture there's HBCU culture, and not everybody who black understand HBCU. And that's something that we've definitely, this is definitely brought out. It's just like each school has different traditions. This has been, I guess I'm not gonna say problematic, but it's been eye-opening of who pays attention where and stuff, and how people see this, because it is a faction of like, saying, like I said, hey, you don't want to see a black man succeed versus hey, this is he exploited HBCUs and the black culture by coming in, making the statements initially, and now leaving. Bomani Jones, when I think it was The View or Good Morning America, CNN. I'm sorry, CNN.
CNN.
Yeah, he went on CNN and
That's crazy.
and they had the comments and he basically said talked about hey, he brought in God and the funniest thing when he said, well, I guess God know mouth too and want 10% of 5 million
million.
versus 375K. So yeah, so
Yeah.
That's
But
terrible,
let me.
bro.
but yeah,
Me personally, I think like even bringing in a religion, like I think for us as blacks, this is just my personal opinion. Like when I'm doing business and people start bringing in religion, I get weary of it because that's always a soft spot. Like that's just always been a soft spot for
It's
us
like
in our
politics.
culture.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, cause I had people like, "Hey, bro, do this video for us, and the Lord gonna bless you."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You want a
Like,
discount?
man, anytime it's too much religion for me, I get weird.
It's a red
So
flag.
that's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
So I'm still with that same sentiment with this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In my opinion, like I said on our show Sunday, I don't see nothing wrong with him telling people God led him to Jackson State, and maybe God told him it was time for him to go to Boulder. Also, I mean, there's seasons. I don't see nothing wrong with
That, or I mean, if maybe God led him and maybe God still wants him there, he's being disobedient and he'll have to deal with that. That could be it either.
That's
He may
possible.
be going against God's word right now.
Hey, but to what Pooh was saying about the different factions, of where people stand on this topic. I seen a lot of people trying to bash Jackson State as far as reasons why he would be leaving. The alumni don't give back. The city of Jackson don't support. All this kind of other stuff. So nobody knows more than you. So can you kind of set the record straight on the fact that it ain't about stuff like that. It's really just about his opportunity to coach at a Power 5 and about the money.
Well, you know what? There's two sides to every story. So, you would have to hear his side, I'm sure, to come out. The cameras are always cameras are always rolling. There's a documentary coming out, I think December 15th. So Lord knows what's gonna be that there, especially down. So and a lot of times the truth lies in the middle. But I stay away from all the stuff on Twitter from these sources and people who think they're in the know. There's only a handful of people who really know what's going on, but I think the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Was Jackson State perfect? In all this, they handled all this perfectly. Of course not. It's our first time. I mean, an HBCU to bring in a Deion Sanders, like, were we prepared for that? Absolutely. You can't be. You're never prepared for that. So we were learning on the job, learning on the go, right, so to speak. So I'm sure we made a lot of mistakes that he he dealt with, and he just kind of let slide, or just just continue to move forward. And did he have a motive as well this entire time? We don't know. So I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle with that one.
All right. Yeah. Corey, let me ask you real quick: how much money did Deion invest out of his own pocket?
So that's a tough one, because well, first of all, I don't know. I have no idea how much he invested, but there's again multiple sides to the story, and you can promote something one way to make it seem like a certain thing, and it still be true, but it's kind of misleading. So there's a story that says the money was there to do what was originally was supposed to be done, but Deion wanted more because his standard is a little bit higher. So the money wasn't in the budget to do what he wanted. So he kicked in some extra to get the extra done. But it was presented as if, hey, what we sought out to do, the money is not there, so let me finish it. You see what I'm saying? So it's all on how you present it. But that the facilities that we upgraded, that was in the works before Deion Sanders came to Jackson State, before he was even thought.
Thank you.
So obviously the money was there. There's a video of Deion Sanders on September 1st, 2020, after his press conference when he toured the campus, and I can find it and we'll post it and let you guys share it, of Deion walking into this complex where it was where they were just starting to renovate it. He walks in, he said, "Okay, what's going on here? What's this?" And Ashley Rothman showed him the blueprint and showed him everything he's going to have here, and the players' lounge and the TVs and the locker room. And Deion was looking at the blueprint. It was this big, huge, empty building. He was looking around. He was like, "That's what I'm talking about. Now we're leveling the playing field." All right. So there's video evidence of it already being a thing. Now, again, did he spend his own money to make it even better? If he did, I thank him for it. So that's not a negative. But let's not just say, oh, he took out half of his salary to finish what we couldn't start, because we wouldn't have gotten into it if we couldn't take it on.
All right. So before I got another question for you, Corey, but I want to bring this up because this is actually a excellent point. Xavier says, I got a good point. How about let's just support the HBCU culture in schools stronger than ever now. Let Prime go to Colorado, but it's time. This is prime time for us to support the F out of HBCUs, all of them. So I completely agree with that.
I mean, to that point, we all know that there was a lot of people who followed HBCU football, the past few years just because of Deion. That celebrity factor is, some of our people need a celebrity to do something before they're interested in it. If half of those people could stick around and, keep supporting, then I feel like what Deion did was worth it just because he expanded the viewership, he expanded the fandom of HBCU football, and that's lasting change for everybody, not just for Jackson State.
Right. All right. Corey, I got a question. I know you had, what I'm saying, we had probably had, I know we've had you on a little bit longer. I'm gonna let you go. But
if I wasn't talking to y'all right now, I'd be talking to some other Jackson State fans on the phone. I'm talking to y'all instead of them, so it's the same. So
I mean, if you need, what I'm saying, just let us know when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up or something. But I got a question for you because we a lot of the negative gets magnified. What are some of the good things, the positive influence that will leave or that has been left behind by not just Deion Sanders, but saying this whole experience?
That's a great question. So, one of the things I always look at, because coaches are going to leave sooner or later. They're going to get fired. I mean, long gone are the days of W.C. Gordon, Eddie Robinson. Steve McNair is probably that one rare person. And to find a coach who's going to stay at an HBCU that long and be successful, it's going to have to be a situation like a McNair where he is Alcorn. For it to be if he was an outsider to come in and have that much success, I mean, we saw it with his predecessor, right? He was on the first thing smoking. So he is literally tied to that university. So that's probably, and I don't know, you guys, you can speak on this more than me. I'm just, kind of looking at this, my 2 cents. That's probably why he stayed if he's had other offers, because that's home, like that's in his blood. Right. So with Deion Sanders, what I look at, or with any coach, I know it's going to, especially if he's successful, we want him to be successful. If he's very successful, he's going to be out soon. If he's not successful, he's going to be out soon. And we went through that 3 times in a row before Deion Sanders. So if he's going to be out in a couple of years, why not be successful? So if he left the university and the program in a better place than what it was when he got there, then that's a win-win in any situation. So for Coach Prime, I mean, the practice field, that's obvious. The national attention, the brand recognition, the revenue. If I don't know if there's a value that could be placed on, what he's done from a marketing standpoint or from a branding standpoint, because that Jackson State is a national brand, right? So I mean, the list goes on and on and on. He's left it in a much better place. I mean, I could talk for hours and hours when he talks about. If you're talking about what he's done, even from a standpoint of recruiting, everybody's worried about what Jackson State fans, what's going to happen with recruiting. Players still want to be at Jackson State because it's still a cool thing. Now, obviously, a lot of that is going to have to do with the next coach. But if the right decision, when the right decision is announced, you'll see the players. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying when it's announced. That's all I said. When the right decision is that, you'll see. Because there's some guys just waiting. Let me see who this is going to be, and I'll still come or I'll stay. So yeah, what he's done, and we couldn't have asked for anything more.
All right. What does it mean to, I guess you could say, the city? I mean, and you partially answered the city of Jackson because I always make this disclaimer: Jackson State, attendance wise, leads FCS, not just SWAC, not just HBCU, leads FCS yearly. What does it mean though to the city of Jackson to have had Prime?
Man, you're talking about, Prime always says that, the city just needs some hope, right? So it brought hope, it brought national attention. And, one thing he said probably the first thing he said in the press conference is he wants to get rid of the crime or minimize it or reduce it. You're never going to get rid of it completely. Right. But it's funny, like he would say things like, okay, let's not have any crimes tonight. Let's not have any killings tonight. Let's not have any shootings tonight. Or, after a win, like, let's just be safe this weekend. And it literally didn't happen. Right? Like who else can do that, can say that, and the crime and see, there's still crime in Jackson, but the city, I don't know if the city could have asked for a better person to come in just based on everything that goes on with the city. But he always talked about hope, and we hope that can carry on. It's going to be, but hopefully it has developed a behavior for people that they can stick to when he leaves. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody got quiet. We stop. Let's stop. Now, let me ask this. What next coach? Well, never mind, because I think you kind of.
Well, now let me ask you this.
Let's talk about
Who
it.
do you think they should hire?
So,
I mean, not having no rumors or nothing, but your opinion.
Okay, let's be. I don't know if I can go there, because when I say something, because I'm an insider, I have information. Sometimes when I'm speaking, it may not be information. It may be what I hope and feel and want. But when I say it,
you came to the right place.
Especially on a platform like this, if I say it, trust me, it's gospel. Oh, this is who the next coach is. So I'd rather stay away from
Oh, don't worry. I will clip it and I'm like,
people are going to say that
exclusive from
even if I say this is who I hope, this is who I want. But y'all have heard some of the names. Y'all have heard some of the names. I'll put it this way. A.D. Robinson is he's gonna go big, because you can't follow Deion Sanders up with you can't follow him up at all, to be honest, but you have to make another home run hire. And I think A.D. Robinson is out there. We know his history, track record for hiring head coaches, so he's not going to disappoint. That's all I'll say. He's not going to disappoint.
Corey, let me ask you this. We've had this debate. Do you bring in, of course, there's only one Deion, right?
One Deion.
But do you bring in another personality, or do you bring in a coach who has the experience and he can bring, he can build your program?
So this is what I would do. I'm not saying this is what A.D. Robinson is going to do. Let's be clear. So when you clip it, make sure you put that point. This is what I would do if I was the AD. I would bring in. So I asked we were talking one of my Jackson State partners and said, if you could have anybody prior to Deion, if you could have anybody in the world to coach Jackson State, like no budget, no limit, no restriction, just let your imagination run wild, who would it be? Right? There's only a couple people in that tier one. There's a Deion Sanders. There's a Tom Brady from a standpoint of he's obviously would never happen, but just the idea of Tom Brady being a head coach for what he could do from a recruiting standpoint.
Tom Brady don't know what Jackson at.
I
know. I'm kidding. I know. Jackson.
Yeah, he may know from a because of Shador. Yeah. But my point is, so we're going to be on a couple people in that tier one, so you're never going to replace Deion Sanders. But being that he set the bar there, I would go with the personality, the person who has that brand, that name brand recognition, and I will make sure that he surrounds himself with the right staff, right? Because that's going to be the key regardless. So when I knew about Deion Sanders being the coach well before September 21st. I remember when I got that phone call and I thought it was a joke. First thing I said, we can't afford him. Right. And then, so when they said, no, it's really going to happen, I started thinking about it. I was like, wow. And he said, well, a lot of fans won't be happy with this. I said, what do you mean? Why Deion Sanders has been our head coach? Like, why would they not be happy? And he told me, because he's never coached before. He's never been a head coach. I said, so what? I said, I don't care if he can coach or not. I said, Deion is going to do so well from a recruiting standpoint that he should be able to out-talent everybody else. I said, now, if he can coach, that's going to be a bonus. I hope he can coach, but I don't care. I know he's going to bring the recruits. And he's smart enough to surround himself with the right staff. So I have that same mentality with this new coach. While we have the momentum, while we have some players who haven't decided whether they're going to hit the portal or not, if you bring in the right name, they'll stay. Other players will come. You make sure you have the right staff around him. And we hope he can coach. I'm sure he'll be able to coach as well. But I want that name.
I'm excited.
So here's my thing, because this will probably be about the 50th time I've said this. I get that, but at some point, do we want an entertainer or do we want a coach? Because it seems
we always like to be entertained. Bro.
I get
like
to be entertained. Oh yeah, I agree. I get it, and I completely agree. But it seems like. And not saying, listen, I'm not saying this is Deion at all, but it seems like, the tap dancing, we got a tap dance and, pull a rabbit out of a hat. Then everybody's like, oh, you know what? We should pay that a little bit more attention.
Right.
And I that's the only problem I have with it. So I love him as a coach, but
let me be clear. So when you say personality, I don't, when I say personality, I don't mean another Deion Sanders, because that's a rare personality. You're not going to get that. I meant more of the name, the brand, someone.
Right.
Nobody on this level. Yeah, the
Somebody
charisma.
else.
You're not going to get
Yeah.
that personality again. You know what I mean? That's just he's one of one.
Right.
So I just mean
Yeah.
somebody with
And-
that name, that brand recognition, who can go in your living room. Your mama knows about him. The whole nation knows about him. So
Well, two gonna be coaching in what, about 15, 20 years now. So he'll be back at Jackson State. Now he can say his, alma mater.
Somebody said
Well,
Cam
nah,
Newton.
Can't
So-
graduate.
that started with an article that was written by
Right.
was it Carl Reed may have done that 247. Was it Carl Reed who put that out there?
It was somebody else, but I did see
He gotta
that.
go. He gotta go to Talladega and get a degree first.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I caught the joke though. Yeah, I caught the joke. It won't be him. I'll say that. It definitely won't be him.
But that Talladega is HBCU, so he, it
Yeah.
ain't, so I mean, was Eddie Robinson right? Okay, I'm just playing. Hey, you gotta answer
Alright,
that.
Let's do it. Was
Nah,
he right?
for real. Yeah, let's answer that.
Was he right?
Yeah.
Let's go. I want to hear
That's
that.
That's a good question.
Nah. So
I think it's gatekeeping.
You think it's gatekeeping?
Yeah.
Gatekeeping for what though?
I mean, but okay, so I didn't go to HBCU, right?
Mm.
But I would hope that my kids will want to go to an HBCU. And if they do, look, I'm all for it, go. But my thing is, that's why I feel like the toxicity is coming in, because as a culture, toxicity, all right. But I just feel like as a culture, like I have a say so in this too. You know what I'm saying? As a black man watching Prime and how he spoke to those kids and what he did, what it looked like he did for the city of Jackson, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I think it's kind of gatekeepers to say, hey, if you didn't go to an HBCU, then you have no room to talk because you don't understand the experience, which
I don't think
I don't understand.
So
I don't necessarily
I've
think
seen
that's what
that.
he was saying, though.
I'll say this: the way he meant it, he was right. But if you mean literally, he was wrong. He meant it from a standpoint of came up in HBCUs, went to HBCUs, knows the struggle. Been ride or die for HBCUs, just got it in your blood, right? So that's what he meant. But obviously, when I'm countering it and attacking it, I'm gonna say, yeah, he's swag. He's the coach of a swag team. He's a swag champion. He's coach of the year. So that's what I'm gonna say. So it's just semantics at the end of the day.
Yeah,
because I think because when you attend a HBCU, like I attended an HBCU, so my friends didn't. So I get so much, I have in the past, and still do get that HBCUs don't have this. So y'all can do this. Y'all don't have co-ed dorms. Y'all don't have this. So I think it just puts us in a position where we always have to defend HBCUs. So we still in that, that's just our mechanism. That's just our counter, that's just how we gonna counter stuff. But I think Eddie was just, Coach Rod was just saying, he was just emotional at the time, speaking with his emotions, you know what I'm saying? So that's where that came from.
I took it more as like the not so much that the whole you didn't come from a swag, but it was more or less like the disrespecting of traditions or not honoring traditions or one, like that. I don't think he meant it like, saying just strictly, oh, you didn't go to a swag, so you ain't swag. I don't think that's what he meant. So, but
and I'm not speaking so much of him, but there is a narrative out there with this Deion Sanders news that's going around too.
What's the narrative?
What I just said, as far as gatekeeping.
Dane's saying that there's people out there saying if you didn't go to a HBCU, you can't speak on the topic. But I think to a certain extent, I don't necessarily think they're saying you can't speak on it, but I think they're saying you won't fully understand where they're coming from if you haven't been on that side.
I get that. I will say this. You don't have to. I didn't go to LSU, but I understand LSU culture. I didn't go, what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't go to Alabama, but they understand Alabama culture. The thing is, if you don't fully know something, don't come look at the Deion situation and say, yeah, I would have took the money. It's a such and such dollar raise.
If you don't
that's not the point. That was
not about the money. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the money. They don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't understand what the HBCU community is coming from whenever they're showing their disappointment for what happened. They're looking at it from their viewpoint, which is why y'all mad? He going for more money. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
HBCUs can become territorial towards people who are not part of it and want to be supportive. That's true. So,
Gee,
I'm back.
hey, I said Eddie Robinson, G logged off. He said, nope, not
Not gonna touch that one.
Let's see. I think, man.
Let me ask Corey this. Where do you see Jackson State in the next 3 to 5 years? Do you think they capitalize off the momentum, or do you think that they kind of come back down to earth a little bit?
I'm confident because of the leadership of Eddie Robinson that we'll capitalize, right? Because he's known, I wouldn't say he's known, but he's been preparing for this day since Deion arrived. That's nothing against Deion, but that's just how he operates. He's a proactive AD, not a reactive. So he's not reacting to this. He's been proactive and planning for it. And he's had ideas in place just in case. And that goes for every single sport, right? He's ready. There's not going to be, if a coach walks in his office tomorrow and quits, guess what? He's not going to blink. He's going to be ready. So it's not going to take long to find a replacement. And it's going to be a person who's going to pick up where he left off. Of course, there's only one Deion Sanders, but he's not going to drop the ball. See, actually, Rob, think about it. He has, he's from, as you know, he's from Jackson, grew up a Jackson State fan, wanted to come to Jackson State, went to the games all his life. So he has a lot of in this, right? He really wants, it's not just a job. This is like life. He has a chance to leave a legacy behind, right? When he's gone, his kids, grandkids can say, my dad, my granddad did this. He hired Deion Sanders. He took the program to this level. He was responsible for getting an on-campus stadium. So he has like I don't want to say a legacy on the line, but he has a chance to be a part of history. So you better believe he's on top of his game right now. So he's going to capitalize on it.
Oh, so AD Robinson didn't go to Jackson State either?
No.
Boy, y'all ain't got nobody swag now.
He went to Valley. He swag. He went to Valley.
He went to Valley, though.
I was just kidding. It's great. No, it's great to I love what he's my bad. My
I thought you were speaking in tongues or something.
No, Dylan got kids.
I was speaking to him.
God telling him to go to Jackson.
Yeah, I know, right? I'll be the 1 in 12. Nah, how it's I guess is there any way this transition could have been easier?
Transition to a new coach?
Yeah, or this transition from Deion. Just, from William. I guess technically from
on the outside looking in, it may be thought it may seem like it's been a problem, but internally this transition is pretty smooth, man. I'll be honest with you. Nobody on the inside. The truth. I don't want to say, when I say inside, I don't mean your fans on Twitter. They don't know anything, right? But the people making the decisions, and really behind the scenes or part of this, nobody is blinking, nobody's sweating. I'm telling you. This is a confident group of leaders in this transition. We knew it was going to come. Probably came sooner than we thought, but we've been prepared for it. You're only going to have Deion Sanders for so long. Me personally, I felt, maybe after Shador and Travis Lee, that's what I, hoped. Yeah. But the transition internally, the transition is as smooth as can be. Not worried about recruiting. Oh, what about recruiting? We're taking too long to find a replacement. We're going to lose recruit. No, we won't. Because whoever the next coach is, guess what he's already doing? He has his guys. He's talking to them. If you're going to be a head coach, you're prepared. You're talking to other coaches. I want you on my staff. You're talking to players. Hey, I'm looking at this job. I want you to come with me, right? So when we make that hire, no matter how many guys hit the portal, he's going to have some guys ready to come in.
And see,
and that's part of the interview process. That's what you ask in the interview. Like, what are you going to do for recruiting? What about your staff? And he better have the right answer.
Right. And not only that, Corey, with the transfer portal now, we've seen it with a lot of teams from last year. You can rebuild a whole squad. That's 800 kids in the portal right now.
Ridiculous.
You'll be fine.
It's 1,000 songs.
Yeah, double that.
Yeah. James Houston, he got to, when he came to Jackson State, he got there in June or July.
Yeah,
right before the season. Malachi Wideman got there 2 weeks, but he got there in August, 2 weeks before the first game or before fall camp. So you can get guys in the portal late into the summer. Now, do you want to have to do that? No, especially from the quarterback position. Now, we got to have a quarterback in place in the spring, right? So we got to make a move quick on that. But otherwise, nobody's internally. It's going as smooth as can be.
Man, shout out to James Houston too, man. He was phenomenal that on Thanksgiving too, of all days.
Man, he only played like 3 games and got the most sacks. Well, the most sacks among rookies or whatever. Him and the team,
second most.
Second most. Okay, yeah. Boy, ball.
Yeah, 3-2 games.
I say this, man. Listening to Corey talk about Jackson State, like for me personally, working with HBCU is one of my biggest things, and I will say this about Dion. He actually brought in the marketing. That's one thing that no HBCU that I really work with puts a budget into marketing, because we've always had the bands, we've always had the alums, we've always had the culture, but you ain't gonna see too many HBCU commercials on TV. You ain't gonna see a lot of marketing. So that's what Dion did to highlight the HBCU culture, which I'm glad he did. And also just hearing Corey talk about like the committee that they have, who's around. Like we leave too many old people. I think I said this on the pod before. Like we leave too many old people in place for too long, and instead of bringing in young, talented people, fresh blood, to change the culture or to increase and make people want to come to HBCUs. Yeah, evolve. Yeah. So I'm glad like to hear from Jackson State, because I wish the rest of the SWAC, I wish the rest of the conferences would do it. You know what I'm saying?
And with that marketing, you talk about the commercials and things like that, but I was shocked at how many HBCUs were behind the ball just on social media marketing. That's free,
exactly,
right? Not using that platform. So I think he kind of laid the blueprint, because he talked about the budget that we have for recruiting. That's not enough to get it done, but you'd be surprised how many players became interested in Jackson State just by seeing it on how the algorithms work. So you see Jackson State, it's like, who is this Jackson State? I personally know we've signed some 3 and 4 stars who just saw it on their timeline and became interested, and that's how we recruited them without even having the money to get them in for an official visit. They didn't have to visit. They saw it's like you're there, right? You're there in practice. You're in the locker room before the game. You're in the locker room after the game. What I need to go on a visit for? So that's part of the success. So other schools can use that same blueprint.
And people don't understand that whenever you bring a kid in from Alabama, whenever a kid comes in from Alabama and he's in there taking pictures with the jerseys on, Alabama's allowing him to bring in 3 or 4 of his teammates who not even being recruited. But once they post these pictures on social media, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, it's just free advertising. Like we just have to think outside the box. And I think a lot of the old heads need to kind of move out the way and let these kids come in. Even from my perspective, like I shoot videos, but I be watching the editing of these young kids fresh out of high school.
Some new stuff.
They made me want to put my camera up, bro.
You're not gonna beat them, because listen, the way people edit, like I was saying it now. If you really want to get somebody like video editing, the way they do TikToks, Instagram, and stuff like that. It's like, and they doing it from an iPhone, while you've, saying started off struggling and spend all your money to get this high tech equipment. And they like, you know what I'm saying? So
free app,
straight from the phone.
Yep.
Celebration Bowl. I guess let's go there. This matchup, I'll say this. I don't think there's going to be any distraction from Jackson State, or at least on Jackson State side, because we saw it was hiding heavy. Everybody knew what was going on starting Monday before the SWAC championship game, and Jackson State came out and handled business.
But you don't have players jumping in the portal, though.
That's going to be, I think, but I mean,
so far of all the players who have jumped into the portal, it's only one guy who's on the 2 depth chart. Everybody else, guys who won't play in Atlanta or won't make the trip. And Prime told them that after the game, when he had the meeting, he talked like, don't jump in the portal.
Yeah,
right. It'd be repercussions. So the players who are, who we count on, so far, we still have a little bit of a week. They're still there. They want to finish the job. Aubrey Miller had a very passionate speech for his guys after Dion made the announcement. Aubrey Miller, he thought about turning pro last season, but he came back. And I remember when he made the announcement, he said, I want to finish what I started. And I'm thinking, okay, this sounds good, whatever, right? You want to improve your draft stock, which I'm sure he did. But he reiterated that when Dion talked about the importance of not jumping in the portal. Aubrey Miller, and I'm pretty sure y'all saw the video, he jumped in and he said, guys, remember, think about me. When you're making your decision, think about me. What did I say last year when I said I want to come back? I want to finish what I started. I cried in the locker room after the Celebration Bowl. I literally came back for this moment. So if you leave now, think about me, your brother. So I think that, that resonated with a lot of them. And I think they want to finish what they started. I think the one key is that Coach Prime will be coaching. If Coach Prime wasn't coaching, would a Shador play? Would a Travis Hunter play? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't, because some people are just competitive and they want to go win a championship, right? Play on TV and everything that comes with it. So I'm not saying they wouldn't. But I know the morale of the team is boosted by his presence. Because I was, worried about, how would they – because if we show up ready to go, we win the game. Right. If we don't, if we're not motivated, we're not focused. If we've checked out mentally, repeat of last year. So that's what it's going to boil down to.
Yeah.
I agree.
Man, sis, what does this mean for the SWAC now? As far as that's it for everybody. Who? I mean, without Jackson State making their next hire, who from the SWAC steps up? Not necessarily.
I think.
You know what I'm saying, but yeah.
Go ahead, G.
I think we all gonna step up. I think like we were saying earlier with the marketing. I think we all taking steps up with the marketing, and so I think we all gonna take a step up and be real competitive. Y'all know what I think, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah. We know. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, it's kind of the SWAC is like the Wild West right now because everybody is right there. You know what I mean? You really, it's wide open.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, obviously, a lot of people think FAMU in the East with Jackson State because they think Jackson State is gonna take a step down. But in the West was already wide open this year. You know what I mean? And if the Jackson State takes a step down and Alabama State and A&M kind of take a step up and get right there with FAMU and Jackson State take a step down, you got 4 teams right there in the East who are right there. So I mean, I think anybody's game really, and like G said, if they start making each other step up, then you're gonna see a really competitive, even more competitive conference.
So somebody said them big bad Braves.
I think it's whoever can dominate this portal because you can turn it around overnight. I don't care if you win you can be Mississippi Valley. If you dominate in the portal, that's what it's all about. It's a different ball game.
Cool. I mean, I think I was about to say anybody from Mississippi Valley. Come on, man.
Hey, chill out.
Hey, why you playing Mississippi
Don't do
Valley?
Valley like that.
Mississippi Valley
They the only reason Southern was playing last weekend, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You might want to stop talking about them boys, man.
I think from a marketing standpoint, FAMU. Yeah, I think like FAMU got the best opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
For me personally, FAMU is one of the more recognizable brands it is in black sports.
Agreed.
So I think that's why I say I think they miss a lot of opportunities, even having the LeBron deal and all that type of stuff. Like, and just stay close. Like if you ain't never been to a FAMU game, like a home game, or just been on their campus, man, telling you,
it's different.
That's a selling point out in itself.
I agree with you on
that.
Yeah. And it's set up for them to run the East for, you know what I'm saying, for a little while. If
I was finna say, I was gonna say this add this to the petty pile, but does FAMU have a coach? Do they still have a head coach? I'm just saying.
That boy name linked to every job. I mean, if it's a job opening, there's Willie Simmons for that. Willie Simmons. I think I saw him finna be the next Indianapolis Colts head coach, Willie Simmons. I mean,
they linked into us too. They linked into Jackson State.
They got Jackson State. They got Jackson State, FIU, Colorado. I mean, they got
going
everything. Yeah, everywhere, man.
Yeah. Man. I think he stays put. That's just
I hope so. He got something. He building something over there. So
no, it's impressive what he's doing though. Because I mean, if you what we have at Jack State with Dion, that's like once in a lifetime. But if you take that away, imagine the spotlight that would be on FAMU. That would almost be once in a lifetime. What he's doing, he's just kind of overshadowed by this Deion Sanders thing.
Personality.
And it almost kind of remind me of what Broderick Favre was doing at Grambling. You know what I mean? Like they came close to beating the Power 5 school. Pretty much ran. I know they lost to Jackson State week 2, but they pretty much ran through the rest of the SWAC. So I mean, he just being overshadowed by, like you say, Dion. That's a big shadow to be in, man. Dion a big shadow, man.
Hey, don't sleep on them Jaguars and Dooley. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
He got to play the right quarterback.
I think he found him.
We'll see.
We'll see when everybody's game planning for him.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
We'll see.
Will we lose this spotlight, HBCU spotlight? And because these questions I'm asking is all questions we've seen on Twitter and stuff like that. That's why some of them just trying to get off. But will we see recruiting classes like before, or even the attention on TV like we had before with Prime now gone?
It's going to be a collective effort. It's going to be more balanced. It won't be so lopsided with Jackson State and everybody else. Now, we talk about leveling the playing field. Now within the SWAC, I think it'll be a little bit more balanced. And what you're going to see is Deion Sanders forced other SWAC schools to step up their recruiting and offer the 3-star, the 4-star, the 5-star. Like when you see those 5 stars, you see the SWAC label on that graphic of a team, the SWAC logo. So you think teams are going to stop doing that now? No, they're gonna. He's actually created a behavior. He created a pattern. It's almost a subconscious thing, right? Right now, Jackson State, we've continued to send out offers with Coach Taylor and Coach O, even while we're in limbo. And those are 3-star, 4-star guys. So they didn't say, "Oh, we don't have Deion, so let's go back to recruiting these, guys who don't have a lot of hype around their name." So everybody's going to keep doing it, and it's going to be again more balanced across the board.
Yeah. All right. Corey, man, I appreciate you coming on. I got one more Jackson State. Honors ours, man. I got one more Jackson State question for you. Not even football. we see Mo Williams finally got him one, and it was a big one. Mm-hmm. It was a big one with the 1-point win over SMU.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, who's the next one to go? Is it Coach Reed or is it Mo Williams?
Who's the next person to leave?
Yeah,
man. Why you making that, man?
I mean, I hate speaking this into existence, but
okay, you know what? Yeah, we ain't got to do that.
Man,
okay. Let's do this.
I'll answer. I'm not running from the question, but I'm just going to answer it. I'm going.
But now listen. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Yeah. We ain't gonna speak.
I have an answer for you. I know how to answer this perfectly. It's not even a close. Coach Tamika Reed is in demand. She will be recruited, touted, offered jobs this offseason. They're probably offering under the table now. You know how it goes. She had them last year. She had offers, interviews. So now I didn't say she's going to leave. I'm saying she will be courted a lot more sooner than Mo Williams. It's not even close. Yeah.
Let me ask. Speaking of
the SWAC this year, I still don't see teams coming after him like that.
Speaking of Coach Reed,
not yet.
Speaking of Coach Reed, how did the J-State community view the comments about LSU's coach whenever she said y'all better pay her or she ain't gonna be there long? Like, did y'all see that as disrespectful, or did y'all see it as we know we gotta pay her because she that good?
Emotionally in our feelings. Like, did she lie?
She didn't.
I mean,
like
really.
In any job, if you're excelling, you want to raise. You should be paid more. You should be paid what you're worth. So she didn't lie. I mean, maybe it's because she's a white lady talking to
the messenger.
The messenger. But she didn't lie. Like, if they want to keep you, they're gonna have to pay you. Why? Because some other school is gonna come and offer you more. Yeah. Right. So you have a son. You want to take care of yourself, right? So what you're gonna do? You're probably gonna go where the money is. So if they want to keep you, they're gonna have to pay you. Like, show me the lie. Like, I don't take emotion. Yeah, right. I don't. You gotta take the emotion out of it. Like, it's a true statement. And those same people who are upset, it applies to you on your job. If another company in the same field offers you more money, what are you going to go and tell your current employee? Even if you love it there, that's your hometown, you invested there, you're going to be like, hey, they offer me more money, you got to pay me. And you would tell your family member that, right? If your brother or sister came to you and said, hey, what do you think I should do? Hey, they got to pay you. So, but when Kim Mulkey says it, we get emotional.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right. Man, again, Corey, listen, it's been a pleasure. I know we weren't gonna take up much of your time, and you stayed the whole time with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Anytime. Thoroughly enjoyed it, man.
Man, but
whenever y'all hire a coach, we're gonna have to bring you back on and discuss.
Anytime, man. Let me know. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
In that case, I'll be back on soon.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me go.
Clip that one.
Let me go. Yeah, I'm gonna clip it. Hey, clip. Matter of fact, he said, listen.
We gotta hire a coach.
What's his name?
We gotta hire a coach soon. We gotta hire a coach soon. That's all I'm saying. We gotta hire a coach soon, right?
58 minutes.
Hey, what his name start with? What his name start with?
It starts with a C. It starts with a C.
Oh, okay. Cam Newton.
Coach.
Oh, see, I know y'all messing up now. Y'all getting a coach. Y'all need a coach. You ain't got a coach. You ain't doing nothing. But nah, Corey, man, listen, it like I keep saying it, but truly it is, you know what I'm saying, an honor, you know what I'm saying, have y'all on, have you on, you know what I'm saying, special representative. Let me ask you a question. What is the 1400? Can you explain?
Yeah, the 1400 Club is an official affinity group of the university. We support athletics however we can through fundraising, through making sure the student athletes have what they need. We've done some things for the band. We're just there for the university, whatever it takes. And the Tiger Talk is a spinoff, just a bunch of guys who love Jackson State sports, who were part of the 1400 Club. There are a couple years back, Jackson State and the Clarion Ledger, our local newspaper, the largest publication in Mississippi, who used to have a dedicated beat writer for Jackson State. They took that beat writer away, and it was just ugly. It was a mess. So there wasn't a lot of coverage around Jackson State. So regarding Jackson State sports, so a lot of the quote unquote insiders, the guys who knew, we were always talking amongst ourselves and keeping each other up to date. Like, what are you hearing? What's going on with recruiting? Like all the things that a beat writer would normally provide, we were telling each other. So I said, you know what? Let's put this on. Let's put this on the air. Like, let's create a podcast. Like, because our other fans want to hear this. They want to know this. So we started it, and it just took off from there.
Gotcha. I don't know why this popped it in my head, because every time I think about Jackson, I learned this like a few months ago when the whole Brett Favre thing popped up. Did you know that Jackson is the largest supplier of carbon dioxide for like beer and sodas in the United States? There's an underground inactive volcano in Jackson, Mississippi that they were tapping to get in the, dude told me at work I want to hit him in his head, because I was like,
bro,
don't you ever lie to me.
Dad, bro. You such a dad.
Listen, this is informative. Somebody go look. Chuck appreciate it.
I about to say, I bet you Chuck knew that. I bet you Chuck knew
Chuck Hunt.
Yeah, Chuck Hunt.
So the way this story came about with the whole water crisis and stuff, the carbon dioxide was getting polluted too, so it was kind of hurting the beer sales and stuff. So that's how I was like, what? But yeah.
So that's how it came, because they started messing with the beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but again, ladies and gentlemen, I ain't gonna even hold them up. I ain't gonna do it. Ladies and gentlemen, our man Court, appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Look forward to having you back again.
Anytime.
The Corey C from Tiger Talk. Y'all check him out, man. Give him a follow. All right. We talk. We got one or two more things.
G done dipped on us, man.
Yeah, G dipped on us, man. Celebration Bowl participants. Quarterback Davius Richard was named the 2022 MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, and his teammate DB Khalil Baker was named the Defensive Player of the Year.
Took home every trophy.
Yeah,
every one of them. Every one of them.
Yeah,
hey, he won that. The Offensive Player of the Year. He won that in one game. That game when he had six touchdowns, he won that award that night right there.
That's crazy.
All right, Benedict. Coach Chennis Berry was named the NCAA Division II Region II Coach of the Year by the AFCA, and Willie Simmons was named Region III FCS Coach of the Year. So shout out to them, man, both of them.
And North Carolina, they coach was also the Coach of the Year for the MEAC too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they swept
everything.
Wow. They swept. Wow.
So we talked about basketball a little bit. I guess we touched on it. I mentioned Jackson State winning in that's baseball I'm thinking about. I'm tripping. What we just saw today.
Virginia Union?
No. Go ahead. What you got with Virginia Union?
Didn't they took down the number 5 team in the country or something like that the other night?
And what?
In basketball. They got some kind of big win. I was seeing it.
No. I'm sorry. I was looking at the it's not the Shriners Classic, the HBCU baseball classic. I said basketball.
The one in Houston.
Yeah.
In Houston.
Yeah.
Trying to pull it up now. Come on, where we at?
I don't know. Somebody say something.
Of course, my internet gonna get
quiet.
My internet got slow now. Since we because I'm looking for something and we live. We live, baby.
I don't see the I don't know.
I don't even see where it went now. But yeah, it's 16s have a round robin tournament in February. Hold on. I know why. It's in a different.
That's what it is. Virginia
Yeah, February
Union.
17th through 19th, the Astros HBCU Classic. Grambling, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley, Prairie View, Southern, and Texas Southern.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the idea. My only issue, and I think I put it in the group. My only issue, I would have loved to see them incorporate like the MEAC or somebody else or some of the other baseball
That's
teams from
that's a long way to travel from MEAC. But I feel like you could have got like Wiley or somebody
for
like
a weekend for a weekend series, basically.
Yeah.
Hey, in this,
if you if you don't want to go get people from the MEAC, HBCU travel budgets ain't ain't the best.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
So you could have got.
They ain't flying. They drive. They busting.
Yeah, that
That's
bus.
true.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
So you could have got Wiley College. Some of these smaller HBCUs, and put them in the mix.
hey, look, I'll tell you, when I was in college, bro, we took a 14-hour bus ride to West Texas. That's not fun, dog. It sucks. Hey, but to correct what I said earlier, for Virginia Union, they beat the number 2 ranked Augusta University last weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, shout out to them, man. Allen University beats Clemson in wrestling.
This is the craziest story I ever seen, dog. Yeah. They was like, this is the biggest wrestling upset, one of the biggest wrestling upsets of all time, dog. Look at this dude right here, man.
He knew it.
That boy Chuck a beast, man.
Wow.
That dude got our notes somehow, bro. I swear he do. I don't know how he got it.
Chuck be on it, boy. Chuck be on. What else? I do want to say, I don't want to end on a bad note, so we have to find something else to talk about after this. But our condolences to Southern's band. They lost 3 band members.
Terrible.
Was it today?
Man. That was last night. Last night in the accident, that was changing the tire on the side of the interstate, and 18-wheeler accident. Yeah, it's kind of a tough situation, but our prayers with the whole human jukebox and everybody else, down there at Southern.
Yeah. All right. So we can't end, like I said, we can't end on a bad note. Baron, what you got what you working on now? Or what's next? I know football season is.
Yeah, helping Tuskegee with some stuff for recruiting, really. Doing that in basketball season, man. Getting ready to. Basketball season has already started, so a lot of conference play starting. So I'll probably be throwing up some basketball videos in a minute. Go down to Tuskegee and do a couple things.
I'm glad you said that. Basketball. Alabama State, Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M just opened a brand new facility. Very nice facility. Their game with Alabama State, big rivalry, was moved to Mobile.
I didn't know that because it was in Birmingham the last 2 years.
Yeah, and it's in Mobile. It's in Mobile this year, and students aren't happy because here it is, your brand new nice facility, multi-million-dollar facility. And when you ride by, that thing light up. That thing, it looks good. It looks good. And
is there a reason why they did it? Why they moved it?
Number of seats, maybe.
I don't think that's it. This is a large.
Nice.
Oh, it's a big. Okay.
It's a big facility. I think it's. I don't know if it's like a class. They try to make it some kind of classic type thing. I'm not 100% sure. I have to hit up. I hit up Kevin Ball.
Now they did do one last year in Mobile. They did a classic, which I know it was Southern, Alabama State, and it was 2 more schools. I can't really remember who the other 2 schools were, but I know they did have like a classic at South Alabama on their campus last year. So I'm guessing that must be the same. It must be the same thing, but I wouldn't have A&M and State playing down there.
No,
that's definitely a home game.
No, that's definitely a home game that you don't want to miss. Who we got?
Yeah, Carl, we just talked.
We actually just talked about it. Looking forward to Jared Lott put in here Southern, Prairie View, Texas Southern, JSU, Valley, and Graham. I think
that's exactly right. Yep.
That's it. So, but Hey, this is it. I want to say thank you, Baron. Thank you to, you know what I'm saying, the Corey C from Tiger Talk. Thank you to G, ESPN from Swac'n the Food. Thank y'all for coming through, man. It's been, you know what I'm saying, this was a touchy subject. So, you know what I'm saying, but we were able to get through. I actually learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, talking with Corey.
Yeah.
He said, I just knows the name, must be the money. Yeah.
That's a good one.
But as always, Baron, you know you're always welcome. Same with, you know what I'm saying, G and Corey. Y'all know y'all always welcome to come back anytime. Fellas, y'all got anything before we wrap up? Baron, you got anything you want promote? Tell everybody.
No, I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
Nah, I want to say something about my mixtape. No, I'm just playing. Hey, but everybody, if y'all can do us a favor, man, like and share this, please. And thank y'all for y'all support.
Yes, sir. Please do.
All I gotta say is it's a minute 10. I mean, an hour and 10 minutes into this, and I'm still not mad about nothing that got to do.
Hey, you've been saying that since Sunday.
You gotta put a disclaimer on it.
I gotta put that disclaimer. The inbox be booming, man. People be taking stuff too serious, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow with the Golden Boot. We'll be back next Wednesday with Loud and Wrong. Go check it out. goldenboot.com. We got all
tons of merch, man.
Loud and Wrong sweatshirts will be coming soon too.
We even got thongs.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
I thought we had. Oh, my bad.
No.
That's coming in the future. Just wait.
Hey, he lied and wrong.
It's probably not. It's probably not.
No, I'm good on that. All right. Like that, we out.
Who is swag? If ain't swag, who is swag? If ain't swag, who is swag? If I ain't swag, swag. Who is swag, baby? Who is swag? Who is swag? Oh, crap! I wake up motivated.